Afternoon. Obviously, like we talked on Saturday, disappointing loss, and we went and looked at the film and just kind of what we thought. We did play hard. I thought our energy level was better than it looked like on the field. Offensively, in the first half, we did some really good things. Second half, we stalled out on some stuff. I thought they did a good job of adjusting. There was a couple of times where maybe we were close on a run, close on a pass play. We missed on a protection, so on and so forth. But just didn't get the job done. And then on defense, we were wore down a little bit in that fourth quarter, and they had the ball for 10 minutes, and just direct correlation of how we want to play offensively and how they were able to play offensively in that fourth quarter. They had it 10-plus minutes because we were having the 3-and-outs, and then on defense, we just weren't winning the 3rd-and-2s and 3rd-and-3s, and when you have that situation, you're going to get back on your heels and get a little gassed, and we didn't make the plays we needed to make. And then, special teams, we needed to. I thought our coverage units were good. We needed to, Ben knows it. We needed to punt the ball a little bit better. We needed to kick the ball a little bit better. We missed a field goal. They missed a field goal, but it was Cam's first miss of the year, and it was a 45-yarder, a tough kick. He had plenty of leg and just pushed it a little bit. And when you have as we know, a tight valley game, you got to make the plays no matter what position, offense, defense, or team. So with that being said, hey, we've got to hit the reset button tonight when we meet the guys. We haven't seen them obviously yet because we don't get together until Monday night. So we'll hit the reset button tonight. We'll watch that tape, and then we cannot let the same team beat us twice. We have to move forward quickly and have a great practice tonight because we're facing a really explosive Indiana State team, especially offensively. I'll take questions.
Coach, what are you going to tell the team when you see them tonight after seeing the tape? What's the first comments you're going to make to them?
Well, we had an opportunity to win, and we didn't cash in. And the week before we had that opportunity and did cash in, and the season is still in front of us. We've played 3 Valley games, and we're sitting at 2-1, and we have a lot of the goals and aspirations we want for a season in front of us, and we need to finish better. We need to shore some things up on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. But the last thing we can do is hit the panic button. The last thing we can do is do that. And I know the guys won't point fingers and stuff. We talked about that in the locker room, and we've got too many great leaders and seniors that won't allow that to happen. So we've just got to be able to hit reset and get prepared to try to go 1-0 this week.
Your evaluation of your offensive line play so far?
For the year or yesterday or Saturday?
For the year first.
For the year, we've been doing a really good job offensive line for the year. I thought on Saturday we were better in run blocking than we were in pass protection, and they did a couple of nice things to flush Carson out of the pocket. But that's not. We can always be better. But that didn't affect us in not really winning that game. I thought we did a good push. We a couple of runs that were 5 yards, maybe could have gotten 8 or 9. We missed a couple of holes with the running backs where if we make a better cut, maybe we were out the gate and stuff. So offensive line always is going to have to play better simply because that's where a lot of veterans are at. But I didn't think they played poorly. No.
You've been looking for that home run hitter in the running game. Is there somebody that you're looking for that to emerge from this week?
Well, yeah, I'd like to have all of them emerge, but from a capability standpoint, now with the fresh bodies, it'd probably be Bruce. I mean, Bruce has that ability. He saw that on kick return, and I think we need to give him more carries. We don't have John Crockett that's going to carry it 25 to 30 times. That's a reason why he's with Green Bay. But we think we probably need to give it to Bruce between 15, 18 times, to see if we can get that big play, that 30-yard run or 60-yard run. And then hopefully we're crossing our fingers that Lance can be back because he has some speed and has the size, and we'll find out about him tonight and see what he can do.
On the topic of Bruce, did you envision saying that at the beginning of the year, that whatever, week 6, week 7, that you guys need to get him that many touches?
Oh, yeah, potentially. You bet. We thought both he and Lance would continue to learn the offense and progress, and Lance being nicked up hasn't really helped him. But Bruce, just seeing what we saw in fall camp, his ability to to catch the ball, run after the catch, inside, outside, and then you saw it on the kick return a couple times. He's got the ability to beat you on the edge.
Where's that put Klieman?
He's still a big part of the picture. I just think it's it's more some pass protection, some screens, some inside run game, but probably from a standpoint of the lion's share of our perimeter run, and even we've got to get Bruce some more of those inside runs. I just think Bruce will probably carry it more moving forward. Now, we only had, what do we have, guys, 31 carries or something on Saturday. We need to be 45 to 50. I know that Coach P does a lot of studies on stuff. If we're running the ball 45 to 50 times a game, we're having a ton of success, but that leads to the 40 minutes of possession and all those other things. Well, if you're having it 40 to 45 times, you can give a kid the ball 15 to 20 times, and a couple more guys can carry it 8 to 10, and that's where we should be. When we're only at 31 carries, boy, we're always trying to find ways to get guys the ball more.
You have Plankers or Johnson? Or you think about
We probably need to play Jack a little bit more. And when I say a little bit more, not necessarily behind Zach, but behind Zach, behind Jeremy, as well as even maybe Lando, of trying to get him another 15 snaps somewhere. I think he's doing some good things, that he's smart enough to be able to spell a guy at the right guard, left guard, or right tackle position.
Coach, when you say you're going to use the reset button, does that mean tweaking or making changes or somewhere in between?
Probably a little bit in between. We're not going to reinvent the wheel by any means of what we do, but we are going to at least look at some other guys positionally that we feel, maybe not playing up to their capabilities. And I'm not going to get specific on anybody until I visit with the young men, but there'll be some adjustments to the lineup.
adjustments to the lineup as far as backups or starters?
Probably splitting some time.
You're going to play more players.
Yep.
You mentioned after the game your underclassmen, your sophomores, juniors need to be more vocal. Is that something you've seen in them, or is that something you have to address with them?
A little bit of both. Late in that game, one of the guys I thought really was stepping up, not only making plays, but just on the sideline and in huddles on timeouts was Nick. DeLuca's an impact player for us and carries a lot of the responsibility of calling the defense and stuff, and has a ton of respect from our guys by his level of play. And Nick has it in him, and I think he knows it's got to come out of him now to be a good leader. I think Nate Tangway is the same way, and he's not a junior or senior, but Nate's an impact player for us that I think has some leadership qualities that we need it more from an inside. And when I say inside, the front seven. Champ and CJ do a phenomenal job of leading, but it's just like Marcus Williams trying to lead from a corner spot. If you're not taking on a double team and you're not getting drilled every snap, it's a little harder when you to lead in that position. That's where we've always had a linebacker or a defensive lineman.
I know we've talked about Zach Raw a lot, and what he means to this team, especially coming off of a week like this. How much are you going to kind of lean on him and his leadership abilities?
Well, he needs to lead on in the skill position on the offense, and that's what Zach needs to do, is just continue to help Shep and RJ and Kayvon and those guys progress. But as far as Zach's a more quiet guy, so from an offensive standpoint, it's still going to come from Joe. It's going to come from Carson. It's going to come from that group of guys.
Approach this week? You've had a loss this season. Is this different? Do you approach it different? Do you talk to the guys differently than you did after the Montana loss because you're in Valley play now?
Well, yeah, we had a week off between the Montana, and we didn't really know a lot about our team at that time. With this game, are we going to approach it differently? No, we don't have the time to make a ton of different changes from an approach standpoint. We need to, we need to visit about the loss tonight, and then we've got to put it to bed and focus on Indiana State. Now, the one thing that we both decided offensively and defensively is we're going to go our 7-on-7 stuff. We're going to do NDSU versus NDSU for a few minutes to just work some more speed to help our offensive guys with man coverage, getting off some of those things. And the same thing on defense. We can always work. It's better for Jalen Allison and CJ to work on man coverage against RJ and Vra, even if it's for a limited time. You always worry about injuries when you go real heavy first group against first group, though.
This is the first, I think, really unexpected loss
Yep.
or upset loss in a long, long time for this program. Do you worry about a lack of confidence in your players now, or in your, just questioning what you're doing, what they're doing?
Yeah, good question. No, I don't at all. We have too many guys that have won an awful lot of games here, and in a number of those guys that have won a lot of games were on the field last year after Northern Iowa. And whether I don't guess buy into the expected loss, whether it's Indiana State a few years ago, Youngstown State, Northern Iowa, Montana, a loss is a loss. And everybody's frustrated with a loss. It's how you respond on a frustrating loss. And our kids will rally, I know that, and as coaches we'll rally too.
Coach, where does Connor Underwood rank in terms of defensive players in the Valley?
He's one of the elite without question. I know he's been nicked up a little bit this year. I don't know what his injury was, but he hasn't played in all the clips that I've seen. Rest assured, we have to know where he aligns at all times and make sure that we, maybe slide the protection to him or at least get a chip on him or so, because he's a difference maker and an exceptional football player.
On the offensive side, quarterback Adam has pretty good numbers. What does he do well that you've seen?
Well, I was really impressed specifically against Southern Illinois. He threw the deep ball extremely well. They do a great job of mixing up their run pass out of different formations and motions to require you to put more people in the box to stop the run. And Owens is a phenomenal receiver, and they connected 3 or 4 times against Southern, and there was really good coverage, and he landed it in there really nice. And the wind usually blows in Terre Haute, and it looked like it was windy there, and he had no problem throwing it in the wind. And the other thing is he runs pretty well. We saw him escape and run 40 yards for a touchdown or so. And so, he's I know that was a question mark coming into their season, losing Parrish, because Parrish was an all-conference type player. And I think he's really stepped up and led that football team really nicely.
Are you going to do some of the read option stuff, too?
Yeah, they run some of it different than some of the other teams that we've played more recently. But they'll do some of the read option, and make no mistake, we've talked about that the entire day yesterday on defense of different ways to defend it better than what we have.
Is it an alarm going off for you guys that it seems like quarterbacks they can do some running against you?
Yeah, it's a big alarm for me. Absolutely big alarm for me. And I went back and looked at a lot of stuff yesterday over the years of things that we did differently, things that we did well, adjustment-wise. It's interesting. People didn't run a lot of quarterback run last year when it was towards 53 side, because he could take away the whole thing. There's another reason why he's playing on Sunday too. But those are things that I've looked at, as well as what other teams are doing to stop some of that stuff.
Can teams put in some quarterback run stuff the week of a game? Did South Dakota add some of that stuff? Because you said Sager didn't.
No, they did. I think they saw a little. It was different run stuff than what Northern Iowa did, for starters. I think it was, Northern Iowa's was more of a deception. Theirs was more downhill. And I think part of that was maybe a look that they saw in us, because we hadn't seen a couple of their specific plays prior to playing us. And some of our cover 2 stuff, I think, when they saw Nick avoiding out, they used that and said, okay, we're one short in the run game. And so no question that we always design a new run every week for a quarterback on our offense, and whether or not you have an Aaron Bailey type that can run the football, or Trey Robeson or anybody else, I think it's part of the game that has changed college football. The running quarterback has changed this game, and if you don't have a guy that can do it, you're playing, in my mind, 11-on-10 football. When you have a guy that does it, you're playing more 11-on-11, and now some of those runs that you think you always have that free player, whether it's a safety or somebody like that, he's in coverage because you've got a running quarterback. If it pops, there's not anybody there, and that's what happened really on the one quarterback power they ran. We were in coverage on the other side, and Trey was in coverage, and so he couldn't get over there in time. If you don't have a running quarterback, you don't have to worry about that. So it's changed the game for sure.
First time 2 losses in, it sounds 4 years. How's your email inbox? How are the fans?
It is what it is, Jeff. It's part of the job and part of the territory, and I accept that. And expectations are high. And I don't know, since I've been here, I think we're 61-5. I think I'm doing all right.
Just go off that a little bit, Chris. I mean, sometimes expectations. We've talked about it before, but does it get to a point? College football, it happens every Saturday. There's teams that get beat. It's one of those. We haven't seen it around here, but don't you have to kind of say that it happens once in a while? Right?
It does. And you're talking 18 to 22-year-old guys, and you know what? There's a lot of good players, and there's a lot of good football teams, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I know we as a community, we as an institution, we as a football team are spoiled with all the wins that we've had, but in the same respect, that's the expectation. And that's another message I'll give to the guys today. You guys can't worry about the expectation. You have to worry about preparing yourself Monday through Friday to be at your best on Saturday. It's my job to worry about the expectations, and it's my job to handle those expectations, and they can't do anything about it. And if they get caught up in that, and trust me, that didn't happen on Saturday. Our guys weren't thinking, oh gosh, our expectations are, you dang right their expectations are to win. Every time we step on the field, our expectations are to win. But I don't want them getting caught up in that. I don't want them, no difference than last year when we got beat at Northern Iowa. Everybody's like, oh, the streak is over. We had 33 games. Guys, you can't worry about that stuff. We had a home winning streak snapped. You can't worry about that. If you do, then you are going to get knocked off.
Coach, would you agree that adversity is good for a team at times?
I think you always have to have some adversity. I think you're always facing adversity. It doesn't matter. We faced adversity with 3 minutes on the clock against Northern Iowa. We faced adversity with 3 minutes on the clock against Montana. One went our way, one didn't go our way. I think it helps your football team in the long run. It doesn't help if you're getting beat 35-3, and it doesn't help if you're beating people 35-3. I think it builds a lot in your team, and it builds a lot, especially in those youth and those younger guys.
Any lingering injuries you guys are dealing with?
We'll find out more today, because today is the day you find out if a kid that maybe got nicked up on Saturday can go because he probably felt all right on Sunday morning. Can they run through the practice tonight? We'll have a better idea tonight for sure. We're hoping Austin Coonert, we'll know more about him on Tuesday, because until he puts pads on, we won't really know. So Coonert we'll know about on Tuesday. I think Lance Dunn will know about more today.
Is this a game or an atmosphere you have to create your own energy, knowing it's something similar to Macomb? Terre Haute doesn't have a huge home crowd advantage there.
Yeah, I don't know what they've been getting, 6,000, 8,000, 9,000. I think they'll have a decent crowd for us coming in. Once again, they can't worry about that external feel. Right now we have an issue with us, and that's to make sure that we're focused and we're ready to go each day this week, so we put our best foot forward on Saturday.
Can you talk about how great it is for Zach Rod to have gotten the record that he got? I know it was in a loss, but can you talk about kind of the work ethic of him?
Just his ability over the last 6 years to you talk about a guy that's faced adversity with the injuries he had early in his career, and to stay with it and to stick with it, and even injuries late in his career, to continue to work hard, to continue to rehab. I mean, the kid's gone through so much rehab to get himself back on the field over and over again. Really happy for Zach, and the guys are really happy for Zach, because he earns everything he has out there.